We have new reporting from our I-team investigating how a cyber attack this summer nearly cut off the blood supply to Florida hospitals.
It's absolutely a situation that could have resulted in the loss of lives.
Oneblood, which serves more than 250 hospitals in the Southeast, was hit by a ransomware attack in July, which disabled the system that allows it to quickly distribute blood. New tonight, I-team investigator Kylie McGivern explains how close the Tampa Bay area came to running out of blood and how the attack was foiled this time.
How do you feel?
Pretty good.
This simple act of donating life-saving blood is complicated by the fact that hackers are now targeting blood banks.
My doctor said I should donate.
Nick Hofschneider is making this donation at a Tampa Oneblood center.
And it feels good. Yeah, you gotta help people out, maybe save some lives.
But before his donation can be used, it must be labeled. And that is the system hackers attacked in July. It's a form of cyber terrorism that the Florida Hospital Association says was tied to Russian hackers, exposing the vulnerability of our blood banks. With its labeling system under attack, Oneblood employees were forced to manually label each donation, which drastically slowed deliveries to local hospitals.
Something that may take 30 seconds to label a blood product may now take 5 or 6 minutes.
Susan Forbes, a vice president with Oneblood, says the biggest impact was on type O blood and platelets, which only have a shelf life of 5 days.
These are the products that are in the highest demand by hospitals, and so that's where we started to see that immediate need.
Platelets, which are used in high-risk procedures and surgeries. So critical need for this blood supply that was completely cut off.
But when the attack happened, only the medical community knew something was very wrong.
When this was first occurring, there was not a public acknowledgement that this was a cyber attack.
Mary Mayhew, president and CEO of the Florida Hospital Association, says 2 days passed before the public was told.
Terms were being used like this is going to affect elective procedures. That is not what was occurring. Certain cancer treatments could be provided because they simply did not have the blood supply, the platelets that were needed.
Oneblood tells us it worked with a task force of blood suppliers to bring in properly labeled blood from across the country, while hospitals postponed surgeries.
It wasn't until Friday that we saw data about the level of dependency on the national blood supply. At one point, we were receiving over 80% of the platelets for Florida's hospitals from the national blood supply.
What do you think when you say that out loud, that that's what you just came out on the other side of?
Had there been any kind of a crisis or demand for blood in any other part of the country, we would not have been able to receive the volume of platelets from the national blood supply that we critically needed in Florida, which is why this really is an issue of national priority.
National and international. In June, Synovis, a provider of pathology services that partners with major hospitals in London, was the victim of a ransomware cyber attack, impacting blood transfusions and test results, canceling operations and diverting patients.
But it's really happening everywhere now.
Cybersecurity expert Scott Schober says the attack on Oneblood proves that our medical care is now a target. What went through your mind when you saw that's happening? That's where we're at now.
The part that scares me the most is it goes an additional layer each time. And now it's a hospital. And now it's those parties that are third parties that work closely to the hospital. In other words, they're really covering all bases. Everybody is a target.
Oneblood says it was able to return to normal distribution within 10 days. It is now working with cybersecurity specialists following their advice to try to prevent a future attack. In Tampa, I'm I-team investigator Kylie McGivern taking action for you.